thank God that the brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now.
What's up guys and welcome to FPL Today. I'm the man in the know, JNO, and welcome to another video for Game Week 19 where we go over the eye test in Game Week 18. This is where we actually just have a look at the games, not so much the stats, and try and figure out if there's players we need to be considering for our FPL teams and which sides could go on a good run of form. This video today is brought to you by FanTeam, who are bringing us the World Championship of Fantasy Football, which is a massive 2-game week tournament where we get to play for an incredible prize pot of €30,000. Now for €2 or more, you can get entry into this competition via satellite competitions, which you can play in this game week and the up and coming game weeks to get into the World Championship of Fantasy Football. Or you could also just enter with €1,050, which is a massive price. But get your entries via the satellite. Check out the link in the description down below. And let's get on with the video. So we're going to start off with Man City versus Leicester. Man City at home, which was the 5:30 kickoff. And in this game, we saw two sides that are, of course, chasing Liverpool at the top of the table. In this game, we did see a very game Leicester side that unfortunately didn't have the quality or maybe the maturity to get a win in this one. They were very good on the counter-attack, which did result in them getting an early lead 1-0 through a Jamie Vardy goal assisted by a through ball by Harvey Barnes. And Jamie Vardy was the main attacking outlet for Leicester in this one. And they did have some counter-attacks. And on another day, if they've got a bit luckier, they may have got a bit more out of this game. But Man City were very, very good going forward in this one. The main proponents of this being Kevin De Bruyne and Riyad Mahrez, both looking very, very good on that right-hand side of the Manchester City midfield. Kevin De Bruyne thriving in that half space and Mahrez staying out very wide and then cutting in. Both created plenty of chances, had plenty of chances themselves, and looked like the best two players on the field. So despite Man City starting off the brightest, it was Leicester City who did manage to get the first goal in this game through a counter-attack where Harvey Barnes did manage to assist Jamie Vardy. And Harvey Barnes especially did look good in this game as well. However, what I will say is defensively, Chilwell and Harvey Barnes struggled against the partnership of Mahrez and Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne playing in that half space, meaning Chilwell had to cut in to mark Kevin De Bruyne, meaning Mahrez had all the space in the world out on the left. Also of mention was Benjamin Mendy being a very good outlet for Manchester City on the left with some good crosses into the box and some very advanced play, almost like Aurier at Spurs is very advanced in the attacking five. Mendy also seemed to be one that was coming forward so Raheem Sterling could cut inside. Raheem Sterling did win a penalty which Gundogan did put away. Some people questioning whether it was a dive, especially from the Leicester City camp. However, it looked like just about a penalty to me. But it was Kevin De Bruyne who put the game to bed with a darting run where he did cross the ball to the back post for Gabriel Jesus to score. It was these two, like I've already said, these two, Mahrez and Kevin De Bruyne, were the best two players on the pitch. If they could continue a partnership like that, although of course Leroy Sané could be coming back at some point soon, I think that right-hand side could be very dangerous and Mahrez could become more of a viable option if he got more game time. But it is very interesting and enjoyable as a Kevin De Bruyne owner to see Kevin De Bruyne staying more advanced, staying further forward and being such a creative part of that Man City attack. We move on to the Aston Villa versus Southampton game, and in this one, two sides that were fighting for their survival in the Premier League already, both in the relegation battle, both with players that were very, very highly sought after going into Game Week 18. Jack Grealish being the one for Aston Villa, Danny Ings, and maybe even James Ward-Prowse being the ones for Southampton. And all of those players did get returns in this one in a 3-1 victory for Southampton. Unfortunately for Aston Villa, though, they were just played off the park by Southampton for large majorities of the game. Jack Grealish did still look very, very good and looks like the main man at Aston Villa. And Aston Villa still look like they will score goals, but a big blow for them was McGinn getting injured so early on in the game. He's a vital part of the way that Aston Villa play, and without him there's, for me at least, questions on whether they can keep their form going into this very important period for them where they play a lot of the bottom sides. Jack Grealish is still there, of course, and scored a wonderful volley and also could have scored another long shot, which did test the keeper. But Southampton, and especially Danny Ings, looked very good. Ings looking clinical, getting onto the end of a rebound after Shane Long had a shot on goal, which was saved. also being there to pick up the pieces when Aston Villa made a mistake for the third goal, scoring his second in the game. And then James Ward-Prowse with a great delivery for Jack Stephens to score from a corner, again where Aston Villa's defence looked very, very poor. I would suggest if you have an Aston Villa defender, I know Target was a very popular option and consideration, and even the likes of Gilbert were there, and Mings was also someone highly owned. I don't see many clean sheets for this Aston Villa defence. Yes, there might be some attacking threat there, but I think there's other sides where you can get attacking defenders which may be better value for money, because the likelihood of clean sheets will naturally be higher than this Aston Villa defence, which were very, very poor. And then the third game we're going to focus on is the Norwich versus Wolves game. Wolves, of course, becoming more prominent in our FPL thinking with their kind of resurgence back to form after a bit of a patchy start to the season with the Europa League potentially getting in the way. And Norwich, who are seemingly starting to attack like they used to, or like they did at the beginning of the Premier League season, with Cantwell now potentially becoming another option, with him scoring in this one. However, I will say that Norwich were very, very wasteful in front of goal. Buendia created a lot of chances, but they couldn't take advantage of it. And in another day, if they'd been more clinical, Norwich could have come away with points in this one. However, they weren't. They seemingly couldn't take advantage of a first half where they were absolutely dominant. And then Wolves came in the second half, upped their game. Raul Jimenez and Traore, very, very important. Traore's running is incredible to watch. Sometimes I do think he has a simpler pass he can make instead of continuing to dribble, but there was one where he just kind of cut inside, then went back out wide, found Raul Jimenez in loads of space because all of the Norwich defenders thought the play was going to switch and it didn't. That kind of play from Traore makes me hopeful for his future FPL returns. Raul Jimenez popping up with a goal to get the winner in this one in the 81st minute. He is someone that has regularly scored goals in the Premier League, so you can never doubt his credentials. And Martinez's passing is also, especially from set pieces, and his delivery is incredible, which did get Wolves' first goal when Roman Saiss managed to score a header from a Martinez cross. But what I will say is Pukki, the Pukki party should have been reborn in this game. He had plenty of chances and couldn't put them away. Couldn't get assists as well when he had easy passes to the like of Cantwell, so Cantwell could have had a second. So Norwich only have themselves to blame in this one for not getting any points from this game. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode of the Eye Test, where I just go over some of the Saturday games and tell you my thoughts and my opinions on what I saw in those fixtures, which will hopefully help you and help myself as well, because sometimes it's better to just look at things without the stats in the way to make our FPL decisions. If you have enjoyed this video, do of course please hit that like button, subscribe and hit that notification bell, as well as checking out all the links in the description down below, including the link to Fan Team and their World Championship of Fantasy Football. I've been JNO, this has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game.